Hello, and welcome to The Weather Report, a behind the scenes podcast about the making of the Gusu Summer Camp Dating Sim Expanded Edition. I'm Daisy Diversions, and today I'm joined by Nonplussed, the lead developer and lead writer,
Hello.
and the voice actors for Jung Chung, Neo Hai Song, and Wei Shen. The forecast for today's episode is a blizzard brought on by cold reed fronts. Melodic and breezy voices are expected throughout. Before we get started with my questions for you all, can you please introduce yourselves to the listeners and let them know which character you played in the game and how long have you been podfecking?
Oh, you didn't tell me there'd be homework.
Fiona, do you want to go first?
Hi, I'm Super Fiona, and I was the voice actor for Jiang Chang. I've been podficking for just over 10 years now, almost 11.
And Shash?
I'm Sunkitten Shash, voice actor for Nihoi Song. I've been podficking for a little over 4 years, I think. It's 2021, yeah.
And Kisa, do you want to finish this off?
Hi, Kisa Hoechlin. I did the voice for Wei Shen, and I have no idea how long I've been podficking.
Forever.
I think it's probably somewhere around 10 years, too.
Okay, great. So I have a few questions for everyone to kind of get us going. So, can you tell us more about your process for developing your character voices for the game and how you made them so expressive and distinctive?
I think I stole the voice from the one I used for Jiang Chang's POV in With Such Impossible Conveyance, which is a long fic that I originally it was a multi-voice, and I just sort of finished it off by myself because I'd lost some of the actors. But the whole thing is in Jiang Chang point of view, and so by the time I'd read 100,000 words of Jiang Chang swearing up a storm, I think I had a pretty good handle on the voice I wanted to use.
Nice.
I love that. I love that you picked Jiang Cheng voice that's based on a fic where he swears a bunch. Cause like that's just canon. I don't think he even swears that much in canon. It's just like yeah, fans like we just think he swears a bunch.
Yeah, he's an angry grape. It's okay.
He has a lot of emotions. He doesn't necessarily express very well,
Yeah, true.
except in anger.
I feel like he has a vibe that he would swear a lot.
Mm.
I think the Untamed was probably nobody swore much, but I feel like
It's probably a little tamed.
yeah.
Nice.
My Wei Shen voice is actually something that's happened over a long time. I didn't do voices when I started in MDZS. And then when I started reading And Time Is But a Paper Moon, I decided to try and develop them and just did over the recording of that. And then none of them have really changed that much since then. I think once I got him, I was like, this is what Wei Wuxian sounds like when I read him, and this is what Lan Qichen sounds like when I read him, and it's just kind of always been nominally the same, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the same boat, honestly. All my voices are pretty consistent across all my podcasts for Modauser Sure.
That's an incredible project to experiment voices on. I mean, what was it, like a couple hundred hours?
Yeah. Yep. Several. I don't even remember that either.
That's amazing.
I feel like I'm similar in that I've it's mostly the same Nihoi Song voice that I use in other podfics, though I haven't necessarily done a ton of his voice, so I'm still somewhat developing the voice. I definitely was trying to play up certain aspects of it that were most highlighted in the writing, him being kind of flirty, kind of whiny.
Yeah, and you had 2 times the amount of lines that everybody else had. I mean, except Jiang Cheng. Jiang Cheng had 2 times the lines that you had, but you had so many lines compared to everyone else.
Just like, oof. Yeah, Huaisong, he was very invested in Zheng Cheng's romance life. I wonder why.
Can't imagine why.
He had a lot to say about who maybe Zheng Cheng should or shouldn't date. I mean,
lot of flirty things to say.
Yeah. So you all reprised your roles for the expanded edition. Was there anything you did differently this time for your new lines for the added scenes?
Other than forget how I had actually cleaned them up the first time and
Yeah.
do it differently the second time and make it harder for myself? Not really.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't believe we forgot how you leveled all the volume for us the first time too.
No, and I forgot too. Instead of, leveling the whole pile of them, I did it one at a time or something.
Yikes.
But also, in the meanwhile, I had learned that you can split a recording by the labels, so I recorded the whole thing all in one go instead of as 17 zillion little separate files.
Ditto,
Yep.
ditto. Yeah.
This time I exported by labels correctly instead of doing it wrong like I did the first time.
Oh no.
Oh.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It wasn't that bad. I think it was just that it like only did one track instead of both of them. So then like half of my voice lines were missing. And I was like, how did that happen? I definitely said that.
Oh, I had to re-record all of mine because I had done it. I was traveling when we did the game the first time, and I just was I was in another city. I went to a library. They gave me a soundproof room. I recorded all of my lines and got done. So then when we're like, you can just record the new lines, I'm like, it will never sound the same. I have to re-record everything. So I just did them all.
That's such a high level of commitment to record while you're traveling and then
Yes.
to record again for the second time, everything all over. That's a lot.
They're good lines. It was fun to read.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So the next question is from a devoted listener named Nonplussed. I don't know if you know them.
Never heard the name.
Yeah. So their question is, what is your favorite line for your character and your least favorite line?
Now I have to remember my lines.
That's a very Neoi song thing to
There's
say.
a reason I'm a voice actor and not a stage actor.
Yeah, I sung immediately like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know any of my
Where's the spreadsheet?
lines. That's completely fair. Does anybody remember a line they want to share? Or...
I definitely had one that I tripped over multiple times. I was like, why can I not read this? I can't remember what it was about though.
Here, I can. Okay, I'll supply some of my favorite. I think from each of you, and maybe Nonplussed if you can remember them as well. So let's see. For Chung Chung, there's the scene, the new scene that I wrote for after the Waterborne Abyss with Jung Chung and Lan Chen, where Jung Chung just keeps accidentally saying innuendos. And then your voice when you were like, I mean, was so good. Excellent. It makes me laugh every time. Uh, and uh, and then Shash for oh God, what was it? I mean basically every line you say. But like when it's like you'll know when the time is right at the very beginning for like when Jung Chung will know when to like propose or to confess to somebody is just so funny. And then for Wei Wuxian, there's the after it's when Jung Chung gets the good gift for Lan Chen or says he's going to give the gift to Lan Chen. And Nia Hoi Song is like, oh, if you guys marry brothers, you'll be brother-in-law. And then Wei Wuxian says, why would Lan Zhan not get married?
Classic.
The way you delivered that was so good.
Yeah, a lot of Love When G stuff was fun because you're just in the back of your mind going, you're such an idiot. Like the whole time.
Yeah, you did a really good job of like playing that line.
Oblivious idiot, Wei Wuxian.
Yeah. Yep.
What about you, Nonplus? Do you have any favorite lines, favorite performances?
Oh no, I can't remember anything I ever wrote or anything anyone's ever said or anything that ever happened in this game ever.
I don't know. Really, I don't know.
I do like the opening though. The very first line that Jiang Cheng says, like
Beginning though.
yeah, the very first line. What is it that he says?
Fucking date.
Yeah.
Sets the mood.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I just think so much of my impression of the game is colored by Kictor's live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to like see how the game really plays, like how someone plays the game. And like
Yeah.
Kictor like immediately bursts out into laughter at that
Yeah.
line. Like, what was that line? Like, Wei Wuxian, why would I go on fucking dates? Something like that.
Yeah.
It's just silly and like Jiang Cheng says it perfect. And Wei Wuxian just every time he speaks to Lan Zhan, it's just like gold. It just has this like this the tone of like flirty comedy, like that when you throw Wei Wuxian at Lan Zhan, and he just goes ha 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 ha. Oh, what alcohol? Oh, and Huaisang also has just so many good lines. Like he says them so flirty. It's like perfect. Like the just like kind of bordering on like friendship, flirty.
Mhm.
Like that scene where he's spying on Xiao on the rooftops. And he goes, ooh, oh, there's some tea, all right. Or when he's like flirty, like oh, I don't mind being chased if it's you chasing
Oh
me.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love the scene with Jiang Cheng and Nie Huaisang on the roof.
Yeah.
Like all the versions of that scene are
Yeah.
A+. Like that's just fantastic.
He's just like I'm spying on my oppressors.
Yeah. Neo High Song is like, wait, I'm watching my favorite live drama.
I think I still don't remember any specific lines, but I feel like my favorite ones were the ones that were like where I could like do something fun and there was like a lot of like emotion in it. I feel like there are a couple ones where he's like, talking kind of quickly, trying to like get out of something. I remember those being fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like it isn't as fun when I'm like not entirely sure like what emphasis to put on it or there isn't like any sort of interesting emotion happening in the words and he's just kind of saying a thing,
Mhm. Yeah, he definitely held some exposition.
I think overall, I'm really impressed with the way that, despite reading the lines and just sort of having to guess at who we're even talking to and what we're talking about and what emotion belongs in them, how well they actually fit
Yeah.
when they're all put together in the game. Because I know when I was reading off the spreadsheet, you get a sort of idea of what's going on in the scene, but there's like 6 different versions of the same line with slightly different context and different people next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so what emotion goes on this version versus that version? And I think we all did such a really good job of focusing it. I don't know, but it comes out in the game. It works.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Actually, should we describe the process of like actually recording these lines so they know why we're like
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
why we're like oh I'm reading these lines I have no idea what's going on I'm trying to export my labels it's so hard.
Yeah, Nonplus, why don't you explain it?
So I guess listeners might be thinking that we get to record our lines like like an anime or something where they kind of watch the animation and then kind of record their lines as it happens. That's not how we do it.
Mm.
We export all the dialogue into Renpai lets you export all the dialogue into an Excel sheet, and then each line gets like you can only see who says the line, and then it's just like each row is just the person saying it in the line, so they don't get to see like which sprite, which expression goes with that line. They don't see the context. They don't even necessarily see the lines in order because each dialogue option has like branching conversations, and so it might just go from the end of one conversation, the next line is from like a previous dialogue option, so people might not even know who they're responding to. So the pod pickers did an amazing job of like emoting the lines this way. And also because like each audio file is like tagged to one dialogue line, so you kind of have to record each audio line separately. So I assume everyone's just sort of like reading each line and then stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they have to copy over the ID of that dialogue line and label it.
No, I didn't do that.
Maybe you guys should tell me how you did it.
The way I did it, at least, was I just, like, recorded all of my lines, either just, like, skimming through looking for the ones that were for me, or just, like, filtering based on, like, name, but then also referencing the context around it so I could see some of the surrounding conversation. I would record everything, and then, as I was, like, editing and going back through, I would, like, label each line with the, like, ID that was in the spreadsheet of, like, the line that was being said. That was a way easier flow for me than just like stopping and starting.
Oh, wow. That's really smart. I did not do that at all. I literally I filtered to Wei Wuxian and I read the line, and after every line stopped and put in the actual code so that I knew that I was putting it in. And then I did re-listen just to be sure, but I didn't know who I was talking to. When I had to talk about Zheng Cheng's his partners and they're pretty and well-bred and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I wonder who this is for. Is this one about Zheng, is this about Lan Shichen or is this Meng Yao? I don't know.
Yeah, I read mine from the spreadsheet with it intact, so I did have the context of who's in the surrounding few lines. Whether I'm actually talking to that person is anybody's guess, but I made sort of assumptions based on how it looked like it was flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did a stop after each line, go to the Audacity track, paste the label for the next line, read the next line, and go back so that I ended up having the whole thing with labels in it from the beginning. Because I honestly feel like I had too many lines to have tried to break them apart afterwards and put the labels on them.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It was just, they would have just gotten jumbled up. I jumbled a few as it was, but it would have been way worse if I had tried to do it after the fact, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think Jiang Chang ended up with about 7,000 words worth of perhaps more.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, when I've done this process previously, I would do kind of a combination of this where I would do like one scene so I could kind of get a flow through, and then go back and label that one scene, but like yeah, doing the whole thing, I think I would get too lost. And I'd be worried I would lose things. So, yeah, kudos to you guys. I know it was a ton of work, so thank you so much. And then, yeah, on the development side, then we would just add it to a folder, and then Renpai would take the code for that line and then play it at the relevant scene, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank goodness Renpai just makes it work.
And with both the original and the DLC, there were issues with like missing audio lines at various points that like either someone had missed going through or had been missed in the spreadsheet and needed to like get re-recorded and stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff would get missed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those.
I would say though, with like the fact that there were thousands of lines, the error level was pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, shocking.
Oh, probably out of 7,000 words, if I only had to reread 20 lines, that's
Pretty good.
not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Then my next question was there a line that was particularly challenging for you to say or that took multiple attempts? But if you also don't remember any of the lines, that's okay as well.
Definitely had one that was like I repeated it probably 20 times and I'm like, what is happening to me here? I think it was one of those that was just ambiguous enough because I didn't look at anybody else's lines that I'm like, who am I talking to? What am I talking about? Is this should I be happy, sad? I don't know. There was one, and then I think what I did was unroll the spreadsheet, try and figure out where it was, and then re-recorded it like finally afterwards. But yeah, but I don't remember which one it was. I think it was somewhere in that whole, like, I have nightmares about the Jung-chung, describing Jung-chung's partners in the drinking scene because there's so many. So
Yeah, and they're like just very tiny differences in how he describes like Meng Yao versus Wen Xiong, just like
mhm.
teeny
Yeah.
tiny differences.
Mhm.
I feel like I have a memory, it may be a false memory, of recording some sort of Zhongxiong, no,
No.
like a million times, trying to get the right vibe.
Yeah, that was.
And you said that so many times too.
Yeah. Definitely some of them were like the same line, but yep. I feel like I remember sometimes those like long like lines or something, it's hard to get the right vibe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I know it was suggested that if you had the same text repeated, you could just copy
File.
the file and
Yeah.
label it as like a different thing. I didn't do that. I read every single line as it came because I didn't
Yeah.
know that the vibe.
Oh, I definitely copied mine.
I didn't know whether the vibe was going to be right.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
True.
I found the letter to be difficult because it was like I'm trying to still keep the character, but also turn up the formality and the, you know, serious, I'm doing an official act kind of behavior and not, it was hard.
Damchong tries very, very hard to write that letter.
I mean, but also Jung Chung was struggling, so that came through.
Oh, yeah, right. So there was so much going on right there. I still haven't actually played through the version that gets the letter right. I need to do that.
Damchong struggles very hard.
It took me like 5 tries to get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that is also maybe interesting to our listeners is that we don't exactly know how to play this game either.
Yeah.
We're almost struggling. I mean, Nonplussed and Daisy probably do because they wrote it. But the rest of us, we may have read all the lines, but I don't know how to actually get to those scenes necessarily. I'm guessing as much as you are.
Yep.
It's a struggle for everyone.
It's a compliment to the writers, actually.
Thank you.
Thanks. I know a lot of people struggled very hard to get the letter right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The letter was hard mode, apparently. Okay, great. So another question from listener nonplus.
Who's this guy? They're stalking us.
Was there anything you found surprising or unexpected about the game when finally seeing it once it was done?
All of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just expressed some of that. It was like
Yeah.
how it all fits together and how the results come out and what it looks like. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the backgrounds, the music, the sprites, all the splash screens, none of that had we seen beforehand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really impressive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it looks professional.
It's also been a minute since I've played the game because I only like play tested the initial version and I haven't played the expanded edition at all, actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
I should do that. It would be fun.
It is fun. There's so the gift stuff, I really like that. I didn't do as much of that because I was trying to do the letter. And I was like, no, letter. But
You have to choose one or the other.
yeah, but I went back and tried a couple of different ones. I haven't played through all of the options yet. Like I do want to go through and get all the gallery and get all the hearts and everything, but I haven't yet. Haven't got there. It was cool. The Niemingju stuff was the big one for me. I was like, what?
Yeah, you weren't involved in that at all.
Mm.
In terms of that scene, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
For Fiona, so Jung Chung goes through a whole range of emotions in this game from grumpy grape to grumpier grape to falling in love. How did you find the balance of demonstrating those shifts of emotion at different stages of the game, especially when Chung Chung has so many lines?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle. I tried to like imagine, he's a grumpy grape and he likes to swear in everybody's fanon anyway. But also he's a sect heir. He has to know how to behave properly. So I had to pull that out and he's trying to be nice to somebody. It's, the respect, he knows how to do that. The manners, he does know how to do that. And so it's like angry doesn't go so far. So then we had to pull out polite, respectful. We're speaking to sect leader Lon at this time, We're trying to compliment Meng Yao so that he feels like a peer rather than a servant. Because if you want to make Meng Yao, if you want to date Meng Yao, treat him like a peer.
Yeah.
But seriously, that was when the first time I played through this, I intentionally went for Meng Yao, and that's exactly what I did as a player. I was like, okay, what is Meng Yao going to like? He's going to like being treated like a peer by people who he thinks are better than him. Or he thinks they think they're better than him, which is not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, it was a lot of a big challenge, and it did help to give myself a little bit of the context of all the lines, or it would have just been angry grape 24/7.
Meng Yao loves you already. Because like that's the heart of the Meng Yao Jiang Cheng romance, right? Meng Yao will love you if you just respect him. That's it.
Yeah.
So Shash, your Niuhai song is so charming and funny, and he has a lot of humorous lines that you were able to pull off so well. So how did you approach those types of lines, both in kind of staying straight-faced while saying them, but also getting the comedic timing so right?
I mean, thanks. I'm glad it came off well. Um, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I definitely like retried lines. I tend to do a decent amount of retakes if I feel like something didn't hit quite right, or if I crack up. That happens a lot. Um, but I don't know, just getting into the vibe and just like enjoying the voice and like trying to be like really expressive with my voice. I don't know.
Mm.
Like I feel like it's fun when I have writing to work with that I feel like I can be like expressive in a fun way and like do like good comedic timing and stuff. I don't know.
I'm Kisa, so in addition to voicing Wei Wuxian, you also did Lanzi Chen for a total of 456 lines. You also chose to re-record everything, as we just talked about, instead of just doing pickups. How did you manage that huge workload while also keeping your character voices unique from each other, consistent within the character, and then also energetic?
I did it all at the last second because I forgot. I mean, I've always just recorded tons, so doing 4 hours of recording of somebody's voice is like, that's just an afternoon. And I just recorded all of the Wei Wuxian ones at once, so I was within one voice. And then I took a break and had dinner, and then I did Lan Chen all at once, so I had all of his voice. He's actually weirder for me. He's harder. Sometimes Lan Chen gets away from me, and I'm like, who is this guy? What does he sound like? I don't know. But I managed to keep him the whole night that I was recording, and luckily I only had to record one pickup line because all of all the lines I missed for Wei Wuxian, like 3/4 of them or almost all of them were just that I had mislabeled something, and I went back and I found the right one, and then I relabeled it and redid everything. But there was one that I missed, and I was like, well, here's hoping that I have the same voice and the same, like, whatever. It was a day later, and I just always kind of freaks me out to try and do it later. Everything I record, I do in one session if I can help it. So, I mean, I just try and keep it consistent so that if I'm going to re-record, I'm going to do it right away. Same space, same head space, same vocalization, whatever it is. I just always record that way.
That's incredible.
That's so impressive.
Do you do something to like rest your voice, or are you just able to just do that because of practice?
I talk all day long at work.
Mm.
I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor. I talk all the time. So I'm just very used to talking for many hours at a time. And it's easier when you're doing reading, except that like you actually talk more when you're reading something continuously. So then other kind of things happen. I think everybody has weird podfic things that happen. My sinuses get involved. I don't know why. Other people, their throats get tired, or there was another thing that people were talking about. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I don't have that one. But like bodies do weird things when you talk for hours on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so curious, actually. How long did it take everyone to record their lines?
I'm gonna go check my raw files to see, because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Check the raws.
I wouldn't be able to tell you when I started them, only when I finished, because it's the timestamp at the end. I don't know. I think I did them all in one night.
Yeah.
Except for the pickups.
Crazy.
So, for everybody, if you could transmigrate back in time and do something differently with regards to this game, what would it be?
Maybe after the first one, take notes on my Nihoi song voice, because I did have to re-listen to some of my lines to be like, what was the vibe I was going for again? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Well, you didn't know we were gonna keep going. Nobody knew. Nobody knew we were gonna keep going and make a sequel.
Yeah, I think I also re-listened to a few lines to just get that specific Jiang Cheng in my head again. Because he's not that different from all my other Jiang Chengs, but yet the voice seems to be slightly different in every fic.
I think I would have figured out how to do the labeling thing that I learned for the second one. I would have liked to have figured that out for the first one.
Amen.
Because that was a lot. I recorded, and every single one of those was a single. I recorded MP3 file done, then did recorded MP3 file done, like every time, every line. First time.
Oh no.
So man, figuring that out was big.
I don't know if I did it that way or if I actually did like select the section, export this section, go copy paste the label into the title of the MP3
Oh no.
from the spreadsheet. I don't remember exactly how I did it the first time, but I know the second time was easier.
Yeah, by far.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad you guys figured it out. For anybody who's aspiring to do voice work, podfic, or making their own fan game, is there any advice you have for them about voicing characters?
Commit to the bit.
Yeah.
Whatever you decide to do, do it with like your whole chest.
Yeah. I also like with voices, not for something like this, but like it takes time, I think. I when I started doing them, it was more about a vibe and a like feeling that I wanted to capture than anything. And then as I did it more, I started to develop ways to get at that. But it always starts with a kind of what is the feeling I want for this character, and then go from there. Like give yourself some time, practice, do a lot of little short things to try and
Yeah. And what I used to tell people, and this is what when I first started doing podfic, what I did to distinguish voices was you don't have to actually shift the register of your voice. You can, and I do it now, but shift your posture. Speak faster, speak slower, slur some consonants. Those sorts of things go a long way, even if you never actually shift your pitch at all.
And like I think a lot of new podfickers, they kind of get caught up in trying to sound like the actor from the show, but like you're never gonna be able to sound like you're that actor. So just like more important to capture the character, like the vibe of that character with your voice.
Yep, exactly.
100%.
That's interesting because I feel like the pitch was easier for me to do at first rather than some of the other things.
Yeah, same. And I'm like still trying to find good ways to like distinguish voices aside from pitch, because that tends to be like the first thing that I go to.
Mm.
I'm like, how can I make the like color of their voice and the way they talk distinctive outside of that in a way that like speaks to their character?
Mm.
The other thing that I say a lot is come up with a catchphrase that character says a lot and that you can say in their voice. So, if I need to pull Wei Wuxian's voice out, then I just have to say "Lunchan" or something like that. And, if you want Wei, it's
Wait, shit.
also have and a zero fail voice that's like, um I know I can't pull it out, but Crowley's is like angel or something like with a lot of vocal fry. So, get a word, a phrase, a sentence that you have the vibe of, and then when you need the voice back, you have to do that sentence a few times. It helps.
They're like reverse Pokemon.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. My Jiangcheng is Wei Wuxian.
Uh-huh. Mine too.
Like that. Done.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that, but yes, that word too.
Yep.
Wuxian.
Yep. Yep. But also, the pitch thing, that's where I start as well, because it's just natural to me to say, is this a baritone? Is this a tenor, alto, soprano? Where is this fit in the scheme of things? So that's a really easy way to have at least some differentiation if that's something that you can do easily.
Yeah, if you can do it easily, it's definitely
Yeah.
it does help to just
Hmm.
I've got 3 characters and I'm going to do one at the top, one in the middle, one at the bottom.
Yep.
But when I started out, I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I have subsequently joined a choir, and now
There you
it's easy.
go.
So there's second recommendation: join a choir.
Yeah.
It'll teach you all kinds of useful things about what to do with your voice.
For real. Yeah.
For real.
Yep.
And breath support.
Yeah,
too.
breath support is a big one.
Something last night, and I was coming toward the end of the sentence, and I'm like, do I have to stop and take a breath? Nope, I know where to pull some more air from. I'm a singer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna like I could talk about voices all day.
Yep.
I have talked about voices all day.
What this podcast is for, so you're not.
But like another kind of trick I have up my sleeve, and like all of these are tricks that you can use. Some of them are going to work better for some people because they just think these ways, and some are harder. But cadence, the way someone talks, rhythm can be really distinctive as well. So like I have a lot of low voices, but Lamoji is just very specific because he speaks in a certain cadence. And that's part of the vibe of his character. So sometimes, like Fiona was saying with the speed, sometimes it's just fast. Like my genius characters tend to be fast, so I'm just going to read them really fast. So having the cadence is another kind of trick. There's a lot of different tricks, and these are the kinds of things that this is why experimenting to find what works for you is the way to do it, I think.
Yeah. And come join the Podfic Discord.
Yes.
And 1,000 people will tell you different things that work for them. And some
Yes.
of them are bound to work for you.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reverse of that as well. Like, listen to a lot of podfics and then try and like do the voices the way that the people did it, and be like, oh, does this fit for me? Like
Mhm.
how I want to do it. Like, I definitely draw a lot of inspiration from some of the podfickers I've listened to as well.
Steal your voices. That's what I did. I stole almost all my voices from Jelly, except for Niaming Ju, which I have now stolen from Jenny. So thanks, Jenny.
I had most of mine set before I ever met all y'all, so.
Before we get started with the questions sent in from the listeners, did any of you have anything else you wanted to talk about related to voice acting for this project? Or Nonplus, did you have any additional questions, anything like that you want to talk about before we get into those questions?
No, it's a very fun, different vibe from regular podficking. like
Yeah.
doing it in like a different way and having more of a like group project in an interesting way. It's fun to experiment with format.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Different way to tell the
Yeah.
story for sure.
Yeah, like it feels different from a regular multi-voice, right? Um, like where you just record
Yes.
the line and then submit the line, and then that's it.
So, for listener questions, we have a number sent in from Absolutely Mango, who is a Twitch streamer who has played the game multiple times on stream. Definitely recommend checking out their channel. We'll link that in the show notes as well, so you can watch the playthroughs. The first question is, what do you do to get into character voice?
I think we've covered that a little bit already.
Yeah.
In that, like I said, I come up with the catchphrase as if I can't just do it. Otherwise, yeah, mostly I just sit down and start reading.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, usually just sit down and start. Sometimes I will like if I need to, I will like listen to a little bit of the voice that I've done before or like review any notes that I've written down just to like refamiliarize myself with how I do a specific voice. But usually I just kind of go for it.
Yeah, I have in the past, though I haven't been doing it recently, kept like snippet recordings
Oh.
when I was doing long fic with a lot of different characters and they didn't appear in every chapter or whatever. I would cut snippets that were representative of what I wanted the voice to sound like and then just keep that in a separate file. But to be honest, I haven't done that lately. I've just winged it.
Yeah. I also listen to myself, actually, like Shash. I will go and listen to old recordings if I feel like I've lost. And Wei Wuxian, weirdly, is one that can get lost for me. I don't know why. You'd think the guy I read the most would be very stable, but he's not. So sometimes I'll go back.
Slippery little fellow.
He is. He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also has so many different stages of his life, right? When
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
he's like a little different.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, it's really cool that in this one, like you really differentiate how Wei Wuxian and Nan Xichen sounds. Like they really sound very different. It's really cool.
They're nicely different voices. To me, the Lan are just very separate. And Wei Wuxian, he's just so musical. He's an easy one to pull out, I feel like. There's nobody else that really sounds like him across almost anything that I do, I think.
So, what do you enjoy most about voicing these characters?
I'm waiting. I'm like, I want to hear what Fiona has to say about Jung Chung.
I refer back to my original comment at the very beginning about with such impossible conveyance, where it was all swearing all the time. It was just so much fun. But honestly, I love all of them. Yang Chung is just one among a whole host of favorites. Because that's one of the great things about general podficking and even multi voices in general too. We tend to be very sign up for whatever inspires you when it comes to a multi voice, and I have a different vibe on a different day and sign up for a different character.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else got there first. Maybe I just don't feel like I feel like being Wei Wuxian today. I feel like being Ye Huaisang today.
Ooh, actually, can I ask then if you guys get to pick a different character to voice, like which other character would you have wanted to?
I mean, I know I was tempted by Jung Chong. He's so fun.
He is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think Jung Chung would be a lot of fun. I just love reading him. He's just so much fun to read.
Right?
Yeah, he really is. I also
He's always having an emotion.
yes. at 10, at 11, like he's never But also Lemuji. I love Lemuji. He's probably my favorite to voice. He didn't have a whole lot, but I love to voice him.
Oh yeah, I always loved voicing Wang Wenji as well, but I probably would have plopped for Wei Wuxian if I hadn't signed up for Jiang Chang. in this particular instance, anyway.
For me, it might have been Nia Song. Just so many good lines.
Good lines. Yeah.
Yeah, I like doing Nihai-san as well. What's interesting is that, like, our voices that we all do kind of, some of them converge and are similar in various ways. Like you were saying, Kisa, that you borrow voices from people anyway. But then others, like, I don't think any three podfickers have a similar Nihai song.
Yeah. No, that one's all over.
That one's all over.
It is.
we should make you guys, like the three of y'all, read the same, like a few lines. Just read the same lines and see how it sounds.
Yeah.
That could be another episode in this podcast if you want.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not up for it right this minute, but yeah.
We could read a scene. We could have a scene and then have people read other voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we got another episode to add to the list.
Should dig out a scene with just the disaster trio, like y'all, and then like just switch who says what.
Yeah. That'd be fun. So, Mango also asks, what series of shows do you pull inspiration from when you're doing and developing voices?
Vibes only.
Yeah.
He's talking about the acting of you know, Margaret Cartwright, Yardwright, or whatever her name is in The Simpsons or something. It's not that at all. It's, I read some text and this is the vibe that's in my head.
Yeah.
And you can really tell because I will podfic things I know nothing about the canon and just pull a voice out of nowhere, and that's the voice you get for the length of this fic.
Mm-hmm.
If like a canon has like really like specific voices that are like I feel like I can somewhat replicate, then I'll definitely use those as inspiration, but mostly I go off the vibe of the character and like specific things that are said in the fic. About like if it explicitly says that someone has a deep voice, okay, I kind of have to try giving them a deep voice, you know?
Yeah, I sometimes don't even pay attention to that, to be honest. I will if I notice it early enough. But if I've already read 2/3 of the fic and now you tell me what their voice sounds like, no, they're wrong.
Yeah, at that point all bets are off.
The podfickers, the cold readers conundrum. The attribution comes too late for you to read the thing in like appropriately. It happens all the time.
Yeah, that happened to me on the last thing I cold read, which I only have done like 3 total in my life. Because yeah, I'm reading along and here's an OC pops up, and then I get 3 lines in and it's like, oh, it's a woman. I did not give you a very feminine sounding voice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gender is a construct. It's fine.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
sure, but gender was at least somewhat less malleable in ancient China, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, this happened the last big thing I cold read as well. Like the second chapter, it was like, oh yeah, Lan Chen's deep voice, and I was like, oops,
Whoopsie.
what? That's not my Lan Chen voice. And I told the author, I was like, I can reread this whole thing if you want, but I'm gonna have to go back. And she was like, I didn't even notice, and I was like, great, I'm just gonna keep going.
Lan-Chi-Chen's suddenly acquired deep voice.
You know, I've always had kind of a higher Len Shichen voice, but Riona puts it down lower because that's where they read Lamaji. And so they've always had a deeper Len Shichen, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. And I tried for a while, and I'm like, this just doesn't stick. I don't know why I can't do it. Sorry.
Wow, Lan Wangji's voice is deeper than Lan Chen's in my interpretations as well.
Yeah. I read them both deep, but Lan-Chi-Chen's is definitely a little bit higher.
Yeah, definitely.
He just has he's more emotions in his voice,
Well, yes.
if nothing else.
Yeah. He's more cheerful in general too. Like he's just you know, warmer and there's just a lot.
Yeah. But Lan Wangji gets kind of a rumble that Lan Chen does not in my readings.
Yep.
Yeah, I think for me, because I do my naming joy pretty low, and those two are often in scenes together. Like my biggest thing is I want people to be able to tell the voices apart from each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like having, the higher, softer Lancy Chen and then having a lower Ni Mingjue is kind of how I
Yeah.
usually pitch it.
But Nian Mingjue is rougher, and Lan Xichen is
Yeah.
smoother.
No, my Ni Mingjue is kind of like clipped too, like very like straightforward. Every word is like a punch.
Yeah.
So Mango also asks, do you have a pronunciation guide that you use for certain words?
There are many. I think lunatique was probably the first one I heard mentioned and was used a lot. I used pumpkin pie more, but there's just a ton out there. And I think a lot of us, I know Fiona and I at least, and I don't know about Shash, but we both started learning the language through various means. So like as you start to learn the language, you start to be able to pronounce most things, as long as there are tones available somewhere to look at. But yeah, there are definitely lots of guides out there.
I don't know which guide it was that I used, but there was one that people like cut up into little snippets that you could like put in a little like soundboard app, and I like that one, so I can just quickly reference something that I don't remember how to say. And then just hold the sound of it in my head and simply remember.
I studied Mandarin long enough to be able to read pinyin, and yeah, the tones for me mostly fall wherever they go. But I try to get the consonants and vowels right.
Yeah, purpleculture.net, I think it is, has a good one.
Because I'm just trying to think which words we use a lot that isn't in like the standard pronunciation guides. Like I think qixi, maybe. Um, like we say qixi a lot in the game, but it's not in any of the pronunciation guides. But I think everyone did it fine. So we didn't really need a guide for that.
There was another one, but I can't remember what it was. Shurchen?
时辰.
Maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, 时辰.
And that's the only one.
That shows up in a lot of fic though. Sure too.
It does.
Yeah, it's in some pronunciation guides, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll link some of these in the notes if anybody wants to check them out as well. So the last question from Mango, I'm actually going to hold in case we do that additional kind of extra with rotating characters.
Voices.
So we can do some research first, maybe. But they asked, could you do a tongue twister in the voice of your character?
Oh.
You can do that now if you want, but maybe we include that in that extra as well. That might be fun.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. That's awesome.
And then you can practice. We can pick one.
We could do the pronunciation, the poem. The what is that called? Chaos?
Oh
The
my
one where-
god.
I've never
I don't know what that is. You have to link me.
it's when were we discussing that? It was in the server.
Something about English pronunciation being terrible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a whole collection of different podfickers reading this thing. You have to recognize when you start reading it that it is written for a specific accent
Yes.
of English, which isn't ours, any of us that's on this call. So some of the things that are intended to rhyme just don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes on about stuff like the difference between cough and slew and dough and different things.
Yeah. The various spellings that with pronunciations, like the spellings match, the pronunciations don't.
And vice versa. The pronunciations match and the spellings don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, look forward to that.
Mm.
Okay, great. So that's all of the listener questions for this episode. If you out there have questions for us that you'd like answered in future episodes, you can comment on the AO3 post or complete the Google form in the show notes. Thank you to everyone who supported our game and was curious enough to listen to this episode. And thank you, Nonplus, Fiona, Shash, and Kisa for joining me on the weather report.
The weather in Gusu is quite warm.
Yes. Okay, see you next time, and enjoy that unseasonably warm weather in Gusu. Bye.
I
I
Bye.